Hey everybody, I am Elisha Christopher. Thank you for tuning in. It is yet another beautiful day here in the garden. And so let's begin as always, this time with one simple breath. Just exhale first and take a deep breath in and let go. And so I want to talk today about the hidden meaning of metaphor. One of the base ideas and practices that I live my entire life around is the idea that everything is a metaphor. I believe that God, or the universe, or life, the earth, our bodies, communicate to us through metaphor. And that there is a constant feedback loop, if we're looking for it, of guiding information that tells us if we're moving in the right direction or not, and that allows us to contextualize almost everything that comes up in a way where we teach ourselves that we are always listening for guidance. And so, for example, one of the metaphors that I work with in my garden here is that whenever I set out to work on a project in the garden, I say I'm going to go do some weeding and pull some grass out that's growing in a bed. Every time I pull out a piece of grass, I think to myself, this is a thought that doesn't serve me anymore. This is an idea that started to grow that I don't need. And I pull it out and throw it away, pull it out and throw it away. Or as I'm trimming some bushes, I say, these are the areas of my life that have gotten too overgrown that need to be brought back down to fit better into my world. Or, if I am just having to take time to step back from the garden because a lot of work has been done and I just want to be in the garden, then the metaphor is just that my garden is my life and it's my duty to just be present to it. And so whenever I'm in my garden, I'm always just looking for those little hidden metaphors in whatever activity that I'm doing. And this sort of beautiful magic unfolds where my garden also then kind of becomes myself. So even when I'm not thinking about it, I may just sort of throw this blanket of context on top of an activity and then maybe kind of leaves my mind. And then I notice that, say I set an intention that this area of the garden represents this area of my life. And then I spend the day cleaning up that area of the garden. And then within the next few days and weeks, that area of my life seems to sort of just fall together or seem to be working in a better, greater sense of order. And so that's one way that I engage with metaphor. Another way that I engage with metaphor is to listen to my body and the energies and the illnesses and the injuries and the experiences that my body has as metaphors that are telling me about how I am physically doing and how I am emotionally doing. We say that emotions are energy in motion, emotion, energy in motion. And that our emotions are the first indicator that are going to tell us whether we're on track. And that if we feel the things we tend to want to call negative emotions, like depression, anger, sadness, despair, grief, jealousy, whatever those emotions are, they're there because they're informing us that something in our field is not in alignment with who we are, and so it's sort of vibrating at a different frequency, if you will, and it doesn't feel comfortable. And the sort of more pleasant emotions allow us to know when we are sort of more lined up with who we are, and when we feel better, then we're more than likely moving really truly in alignment with our true self and our true guidance. And then another way to look at metaphor is that in a sense, your life is a metaphor for your life. So if you look at it that way, it's like everything that happens is sending you back messages about where you are. And if we start to listen, then our whole life then starts to become this kind of strange, beautiful, woven conspiracy of wonderful circumstances. And that when we look for the metaphors as the feedback loop, not to say that you are a good person if good things happen to you and you're a bad person if bad things happen to you, but it's your personal experience is actually trying to tell you all the time how you're doing on your own journey and trying to nudge you in the right direction. And that if we listen to the metaphors, if we listen to the energy of our bodies, then the indicators are there to really give us a clue about where we are and what we're doing in the world. And so let's explore the metaphor right now of COVID-19 and what's happening in the world. And in the last couple years, unprecedented floods due to a fevered climate have ravished the world, in the United States, in Asia, and a number of different places across the planet. Incredible floods have come due to our fevered climate, due to global warming, due to this phenomenon that is a result of us. And that a massive percentage of the Amazon rainforest burnt up last year, that the lungs of the earth were on fire, that Australia was ablaze this year, that the forests, the lungs of the earth, have been on fire. And now this disease is spreading around the planet and bringing the burning lungs and the flooding and the fever to our bodies, because it's trying to inform us that something we have been doing has been out of alignment. And if we look for the metaphor, it's so incredibly clear that these things are related. If I'm not looking for the metaphors, and I'm not looking to life as something that is actually speaking to me on a regular basis, then I can miss that these two things are connected. And the connection then is us. The connection then is our choice point, our impact, the way that we've been engaging with these things. And so I want to invite you today to take these ideas and begin to look into your life for the metaphors. Look into your life for the overlapping stories and the corresponding ideas and the information that is being given to you by your internal guidance system, by the planetary guidance system, by this sort of collective mind or God or a universal guidance system, that there is constant communication being directed to each one of us, should we be willing to listen, about how we are doing individually and how we are doing as a species in relationship to the planet and to all of life. If we listen, the answers and the messages are there. So thanks for tuning in today, my friends. If you are taking in what you're hearing and you want to hear more, please subscribe to my channel, and if you are willing, share this with someone who you think would be willing to hear it. Thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow.